Hello everyone and welcome to another video of the 3Ps and Games. It's been a while since I've recorded a video. It's Toby once again, and this is gonna be quite a long video. I haven't made a video in a while because I've frankly been too busy with other things. So I decided to make this video just to talk about the state of the industry, give some bold predictions, and then just see where I'm at regarding the industry. So this is just a outlook of the industry, and I'll probably be making more videos once March is over. I'll try and make some YouTube shorts along the way. See if I can get a constant timeline going. It's a lot of fun stuff, but yeah, first of all, let's dive into the industry. So before, I'm going to be going through Matthew Ball's state of the video game industry slides. It's a great slide if you really want to have a cool snapshot of the industry the previous year. Lots of great data, some analysis based on the data he presented. Most of the things he said I agree with. Some I think may need some changes. On the console side specifically, I have my own feeling on that, but yes, great analysis. It's a great analyst, and well respected. He does great work, and I think he is someone that you should try and follow and get a lot of details from. Watch, read the slides, and if you can, the whole slide. Lots of insightful information, but I'm going to go through some quick things there. So the industry is growing. The video game industry grew by about 5.3% last year. We can see here around $195.6 billion US. So $10 billion more than 2021. $10 billion more than 2021. Great. We can also see here that everything grew: mobile, PC, consoles, which just makes sense. Lots of great releases last year: Peak, Schedule 1, Arc Raiders, Dispatch, Where Winds Meet, Infinity Nikki, Kingdom Come Deliverance. Last year was packed. Silk Song, great year for games. I think this year will be even better than last year, but let's see. Expedition 33 was last year too, so great year. This year is looking good as well. Resident Evil Requiem launched yesterday, so fantastic release. Seems to be doing really well on consoles, PC, and I think we're gonna have a great year sales wise, but more on that later. Also talked about the fact that VC funding is down. VC funding has traditionally not been a strong point of video games. I think more publisher and partnership related funding has really worked well for video games. So I think we're probably just going back to where we were pre 2021 or 2022. That time video games generated a lot of revenue in 2020 and 2020, 2021. So a lot of VCs came in 2022, 2023, but I think many of them are seeing that the video game market is a hit-driven business, and it's difficult to really make massive returns like how VCs are used to, with 1 in 10 companies giving massive returns. Video games are a tough business. You may not really get those levels of returns you may get for a tech startup or other companies. Another thing he mentioned and talked about, which I encourage you to read, is about China. And he mentioned the fact that China represents 20% of global player spend, and right now it also represents 38% of the growth compared to 50% in 2019, which means if you want to grow, you have to be in China. I think that is fair, and I'll go more into that in my specific console analysis that I'll do later in the video. Another key thing with China just to mention is the fact that China is also growing in non-Chinese market as well, which means they represent a huge part of the growth, but majority of that growth is coming from Chinese developers. So what it means is that around 84% in China, basically 84% of the games spent there is going to Chinese made developers, and the rest are going to imports from other countries, which means Chinese developers are taking a huge chunk in China, and they're also taking some chunks in the Western world as well. But that is not a fair balance in my opinion, because I think China has a lot of laws and protections that enables the developers to do really well but in reverse, developers cannot easily enter China and make those gains as they would have. So I think there's some level of that needs to be discussed there. Some things need to be discussed there. I don't know what's going to happen, but I can see why some governments will look at it and say, we need to ensure that balance is fair as much as possible. Like, yeah, China deserves where they are. They build incredible games where wins meet. The free-to-play title that Ubisoft will probably have charged $70 for. It's free to play, and they build quickly, they build fast, and they build efficiently. Next month, we're going to get Crimson Desert from Perla, based in Korea. I'm not a Chinese developer, but Asian developers tend to build quickly, build smart, and lower cost. So yeah, please excuse my voice. I'm having a bad voice day. So regarding consoles, it had some concerns regarding the fact that consoles, game sales, DLC, microtransaction sales have not really been growing as expected. They've been flip-flopping here and there, some here growth here, some declines here. And compared to 2020, they've not really grown, which I understand, and I think it's right. Subscriptions has been the stable contender in terms of growth, and I think that is a concern to a bit, but I think over time that may not be too much of an issue, and I'll explain why when I go deeper into the console market in my own analysis in the coming slides. Another thing he talked about was attention from players. Lots of media, video, streaming, different things are taking people's attention away from gaming, and gaming is not just competing with itself, it's competing with other forms of entertainment. Talk about iGaming, talk about various creator platforms, TikTok. There's a lot of stats there, and I think you should read it, and I think you should be concerned as a publisher, developer, on how that can impact your game development. And this is where good partnerships, good business marketing people will help you ensure that you market your game to the right audience, and you ensure your game is captivating enough to draw them away from other entertainment medium, and to ensure that they come back. And this is where innovative gameplay designs are needed. Now regarding mobile, he had a lot of things to say regarding mobile, but I'm just gonna pick up the fact that this game, Love and Deep Space, is one of the would I say unique things about mobile. I don't really like to talk about mobile because I feel mobile is at this point a would I say customer acquisition game right now. There's a lot of customer acquisition spending. There's a saying that I think Matthew Ball said this: your customer acquisition spend is my ad revenue. Which makes sense because a lot of games co-advertise on other games, so you're paying for someone's another game's ad revenue essentially. So it's a very difficult market right now, and I think there's a lot of stagnation in the game design, and I think new ideas like this Deep Space, Love and Deep Space is something that needs to happen often in the video game space, especially in mobile. I think consoles as well need to have these kind of games coming up, different mashups, different ideas, and I think this is what will draw in players, draw in new audiences to playing these kind of games. I know consoles like to protect your image and whatnot, but you need to have these kind of games in your space to attract different kind of people. Not necessarily this game in particular, but I mean different ideas, different type of gameplay types, mix and match them, find different genres to mix and match. Mobile does a lot of things generally, different ways to attract new audiences. It's a customer acquisition is a game right now in mobile. Advertising is key. This thing is something that's important as well. You should talk about the fact that ads will most likely enter consoles on PC. Yeah, eventually it's gonna come. Costs are going to keep increasing, and you can't keep increasing prices, so the next thing is to put ads. Do any way you can put ads. So yeah, I don't like it, but I think eventually it's going to happen. And finally, in the last thing I'm going to talk about this slide is Roblox. Roblox is a juggernaut. Roblox is a monster. Acquisition monster, demographic monster. It takes a lot of the younger audience, and like, yeah, it's doing massive in terms of the younger demographics, and it's growing worldwide every year. And in terms of, you know, engagement hours, you know, it's rivaling and beating PlayStation, you know, Fortnite and Steam combined, and these are some of the top engagement places. So yeah, I think we should be not concerned, but yeah, this is, you know, a major player in the video game industry, and everyone needs to be keeping an eye on it. I'm really happy what they've achieved here, you know, in terms of, you know, creating a platform on a platform is not easy thing to do. And right now you can see that some of their games in terms of monthly engagement are even beating other games outside Roblox. So yeah, I think we can see here that just looking at the various Roblox games, their engagement numbers on a month-to-month basis is staggering. Yes, and compared to other games that are on multiple platforms, Roblox as a single platform, you know, is massive. And that's the reason why if you have a platform that Roblox is on, you should be worried about Roblox essentially taking your audience. I know that's one of the reasons why Apple, Google were fighting the anti-steering laws and whatnot, because, you know, once they own the audience, they can take the audience anywhere. Yeah, so that's one of the things that you always be worried about. And you also have some stats on, you know, payments outside Apple and whatnot, but you can go into that if you really want to check things on. Robots are doing well, they've been growing, and yeah, I think it's a great thing. And just to talk about the closing chapter, I love this slide he put here. He just said, you know, different forms of video game industry. There's no one global industry. You know, you're playing in different categories. If you're in the console space, you have, you know, Europe, North America, package game sales, you know, dominant in the AAA space. That's, you know, those are the kind of things you'll be looking at, you know. And if you are looking for the mobile, you know, mid-core audience, looking at a live service game, looking at China, of course, out of North America, you know, Asia, Africa, Asia Pacific, you know, those locations. Should be looking at, you know, mobile players, because, you know, that's where you're going to be getting your, you know, your spend, you know, ads, player spends, you know, yeah, those kind of things are where you should be targeting. So it's a great slide. I think it's a great slide. That's why it's good to have someone that, you know, is familiar with at least great aspect of the industry. For me, I'm more of a console PC type of person. I play there, so I think I love that industry side more. I'm also trying to get into mobile little by little. I've been trying to broaden my knowledge of mobile slightly, taking some, you know, knowledge, doing some readings here and there. I'm taking some Google, you know, game business courses, just some slight things, just to understand how the things work in mobile. But I think my knowledge is already fairly good enough right now. So if you need something, someone to, you know, guide you through these various regions, these various markets, you know, I'm a great person there. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn, and you can get some, you know, information about that. So I've decided to break this video into two right here. The next video is me talking about my console analysis. If you like to watch that video, the video should be available on YouTube right now, so you can go through my deep dive on console analysis. Quite a long video, so that's why I decided to break it into two right now, so you can get more information. But just to wrap up, Matthew Ball's analysis is a fantastic analysis, and I think, you know, you guys should follow him on Twitter, send some comments to him, and you can get, you know, more information from him and ask questions. He's a great analyst, and I love reading his work every year. He has a great interview, 2-part interview with Chris String on the game business, another show I love listening to. So you can listen to that and, you know, get more ideas on the data here, and, you know, get more ideas on what happening in the gaming market. He says a lot of great insights in those two interviews. So I think you should watch those videos and get a lot more insights. From me, this is 3% Games. I have another video coming out maybe after this on the state of the console market and just talking about my ideas. I talked about also the news of Phil Spencer retiring and Xbox new CEO strategy potentially, and we'll talk about Sony and give a long rant about what I think Sony, is doing wrong, and with the closure of Blue Point and everything, and what I think the rumors of them downplaying PC is, what rumors are pointing to. Though of course, if you watch any of my previous videos, I've kind of made that claim that they may reevaluate their PC strategy. I talked about that in the State of PlayStation video I made last year. You can check it out, and yeah, I think I've made my points clear on that. That PC strategy is a dicey one, but overall, yeah, watch the second video on the state of the console market by me, and have a nice day.